What if the Jedi joined the CIS during the Clone Wars? Let's explore the depths of it in this video.
Master Windu, you have fought gallantly. Worthy of recognition in the archives of the Jedi Order. Now, it is finished. Surrender, and your lives will be spared.
Mace Windu looks around at the Jedi who accompanied him and feels a knot in his stomach. Of the nearly 200 Jedi who left with him, maybe a tenth of them were left. But it seems like they've hardly dented the droids' numbers. Obi-Wan said there were millions of them. How could they possibly defeat them all? All around him, he sees droids keeping their blasters trained on him. While he's not afraid of dying for their cause, something seems off about this.
There is much you don't know about the coming storm, my friend.
As he looks at Dooku, his eyes are almost pleading with him. Slowly, Mace deactivates his lightsaber and lets it drop to the ground. He gestures for the others to follow as the remaining Jedi surrender. For his part, Dooku keeps his word and orders the droids to take them into custody. Anakin, Padme, and most of the survivors are led to the dungeon, but Dooku gestures for Mace and Obi-Wan to be taken to his private suite where they can talk.
Did you take us here to gloat, Count Dooku? Is having us as your hostages not enough for you? I have come to talk like civilized beings, and to make an offer. You claim you are hostages, but that not need be the case. We were allies once, and we can be again. I have already told Master Kenobi this, but there is a Sith Lord within the highest offices of the Republic. He is the one pulling the strings of this war. Do you take me for a fool? Why should I believe a word you say? Not a fool, but surely you can see the Republic is not what it once was. Corruption has spread, bureaucracy strangles progress, and senators line their pockets on the suffering of billions, none of which proves the existence of your Sith Lord. No, but would that make a difference? Sith or no, this corruption cannot stand, and those in power must be held accountable.
But who exactly? The company you keep has not exactly impressed me. The likes of Newt Gunray and Wat Tambor.
They are cancerous, I admit that. This is why if the Republic is to thrive, they must be cut out, and their influences limited. But if you do not believe me, then at least believe this.
Dooku takes out a datapad with the plans for the clones. While the two look through the data, their breath catches in their throats as they see the secret orders in the clones' inhibitor chips. Orders to kill Jedi, to hunt fugitives regardless of civilian casualties, and countless more involving the Republic.
If you do not believe me, then at least answer this. Why would there be command codes like this in the clones?
Unless someone within the Republic government intended to use it.
Precisely.
Realization dawns on the two Jedi Masters as they see the truth. Dooku and the Separatists could not have been the sole mastermind of the war.
This war is inevitable, but the fate of the Jedi can still change. If you fight for the Republic, you condemn yourselves to be betrayed. At least here, you have the chance to change your destiny.
As they stare at the destruction, they realize how serious the situation is. Mace and Obi-Wan both agree that working with the CIS is the best option, as the clones can turn on them. They relay this news to the other prisoners, who all agree. By the time Yoda arrives with the clone army, the Jedi and most droids have already evacuated off-system. But while the Jedi strike team is with the CIS, the problem now is sending messages to the other Jedi. Here the Count makes use of clever propaganda, showing the Jedi strike team being tortured on the HoloNet, but having each master secretly send Jedi hand signals to their compatriots, warning them about the betrayal and providing secret rendezvous points for them to escape. When Yoda sees this, he he immediately declares the Jedi neutral in the war. This puts immense political pressure on them from the Republic, who wants the Jedi to fight. But while the debates on this rage, Yoda secretly sends the Jedi to meet with the CIS. Soon the entire Order is evacuated from Coruscant. This enrages the Senate, who see the Jedi's departure as an admission of treason, declaring the Jedi enemies of the state. The situation gets so bad that the Chancellor discreetly activates Order 66, seeing it as the golden opportunity to wipe out the Jedi Order without any political repercussions. But while the Republic is now hunting them, the CIS welcomes them with open arms. Many in their parliament see the Jedi's presence as a sign of legitimacy. However, not all members are pleased, as the CIS Council is unhappy with the Jedi interfering in their affairs, and giving the Parliament more power to challenge them as the Jedi work to curb their influence. Instead of letting corporate organizations profit off the war, Dooku and Mace urge the Jedi to be vigilant, dealing with corruption and exploitation harshly. On the battlefield, the Jedi become the new generals of the droid army and lead them to many victories. In some ways, the Jedi prove to be better off commanding the droids. Because of many Jedi's inexperience in command, they struggle to use the right tactics. But the droids' endless numbers allow them to continue replenishing their troops without serious issues. But whatever benefit the droids have, the clones are far better off. Without the inexperienced Jedi commanding them, the clone commanders can lead their troops more efficiently. They don't have to worry about upsetting the Jedi's sensibilities and can focus on achieving victory. So while they are outnumbered, they can hold their own against the larger droid army, leaving the war in a stalemate. One of the Jedi who sees the effectiveness of the clone army is Anakin. Along with leading his troops on all the front lines, Anakin also spends his time creating new droids. He sees that while the droids are more numerous, the clones are better soldiers, and tries to create a model of droids that can meet them head-on, programmed on battle data from his armies to allow them to compete with clone tactics while being faster, stronger, and better armored. But even these units do not break the front lines and leave the CIS concerned about the future of the war effort.
The Republic's industrial base remains their greatest advantage. Our factories may be efficient, but they can outbuild us in weapons, ships, and equipment if they fully mobilize it.
Our droids may be numerous, but they cannot match the quality of the clone soldiers. If the Republic fully mobilizes its resources, they will overwhelm us. Even Skywalker's vaunted command droids have not been able to turn the tide.
Anakin glares at the cyborg general, disliking his arrogant tone. Grievous has made no secret of his hatred for the Jedi, even after they joined forces with them. You're all thinking too short-term.
So the great General Skywalker is here to tell us what we're doing wrong.
Enough, Grievous. Proceed, Skywalker.
The Republic can build all the ships and droids they want, but their Achilles heel isn't in production. It's in manpower. Their resilience on clone troopers is their biggest vulnerability. It doesn't matter how many weapons they produce. If they run out of clones, they won't have an army to fight with. The Republic can't replace them as quickly as we can build droids. If we strike at their ability to create new soldiers, we can cripple them. Their industrial base will be useless.
You mean to target Kamino?
Exactly. The cloning facilities on Kamino are the lifeblood of the Republic's military. Cut that off, and the Republic will have to rely on conscription. They'll be forced to draft civilians into their ranks. Soldiers who are inexperienced and unprepared for war on this scale.
Such policies would be very unpopular, but the risk is great. Kamino is well protected, but not impregnable. I have been there several times, so our intelligence on the planet is good. If we strike quickly and decisively, we can disrupt their cloning operation before they realize the threat. Very well. A fleet shall be assembled with Grievous in the vanguard.
In the meantime, I'll lead the mission. A small commando unit. We'll infiltrate Kamino, disable key facilities, and secure a landing zone. Once we gain a foothold, the full force of the Separatists can move in. The Republic will be scrambling to recover. But as the meeting ends and the rest prepare for battle, Grievous heads to his private chambers, seething to himself. Although he has to admit it's a good plan, he can still hardly believe he is being forced to cooperate with the likes of the Jedi. He cared little for the Republic or Dooku's policies. He signed up to kill Jedi, and that opportunity was no longer present in the CIS. But perhaps there is another solution. Days later, the space above Kamino has turned into a battlefield as the vanguard of the CIS fleet engages the Kamino defense fleet, lighting up space with their turbo laser fire. But the real action is below as Anakin pilots a Trident-class assault ship in Kamino's murky oceans. Behind him stands Dirge and a squad of his elite commando droids. The Trident ship closes in on the submerged portion of Tipoca City, the cloning capital of Kamino. Its drill extends forward, locking onto the structure.
Commando units, prepare for breach.
The Trident's drill bores into the sleek hull of Tipoca City, smashing through the reinforced structure. Water rushes in behind the breach, but the droids and Trident ship quickly seal the gap as they pour into the walls of the city. The lights flicker as alarms blare, alerting the Kaminoan defense system. Panic sets in among the scientists and cadets as commando droids storm through the corridors, blasting away indiscriminately. They leap from wall to wall to avoid fire, holding choke points and moving in coordinated waves. Behind them, Dirge fires his blasters at anything not cut down. As they move down the halls, half of the force rushes to secure the landing platforms, engaging clone forces in intense fights. The others head toward the cloning labs, wreaking havoc, cutting down clones and Kaminoan scientists alike. Even badly outnumbered, the droids put up a strong fight as they fire precise shots, their programming enhanced by Anakin's battle data. They avoid narrow spaces and don't allow themselves to get bunched up. Dirge charges ahead, blasting clones aside with ease, shrugging off blaster fire thanks to his near invulnerability. He tosses aside clones with his bare hands, tendrils rippling forward as he smacks at them, clearing the way for Anakin to pass. They reach the databanks, and while Dirge deals with the clones, Anakin begins accessing the computer terminals, looking to find the Jango Fett DNA. After a few minutes, the panel falls away, revealing the DNA cylinder nestled within.
This is it. Let's move.
Suddenly, a comm in Dirge's ear crackles to life. His eyes narrow behind his helmet as he listens.
General, the fleet has not deployed reinforcements. They are reporting chaos in space. They claim the CIS ships are firing on each other.
What? That can't be right.
Anakin opens his comms to the fleet, hearing the confusion in the voice of the droid commanders. Reports flood in. The Vanguard ships have inexplicably turned on the newly arriving Separatist reinforcements, joining the Republic fleet.
Something's gone wrong up there. We need to leave now.
We still have the landing pad.
Anakin tucks the DNA safely into Dirge's pouch. They rush toward the landing zone with the remaining commando droids, moving swiftly through the war-torn city as the CIS forces struggle to maintain order. Blaster fire lights up the night as CIS droids hold the landing pad against waves of clone reinforcements, just as Anakin and Dirge reach the edge of the platform. A shadow looms overhead. General Grievous, towering and menacing, drops down from above, lightsabers flashing to life. His metallic voice cuts through the storm.
You have something that belongs to me, Skywalker.
Anakin immediately draws his lightsaber, stepping forward to face Grievous.
Take the DNA and go. Get back to Dooku. I'll buy you time.
Dirge hesitates for a second, then bolts toward the remaining ship. Anakin turns his full attention to Grievous, their lightsabers crashing together with a blinding spark. Grievous responds by rushing at Anakin, his two lightsabers flashing in the dim lights as he hacks at Anakin, trying to cut him in two. The Jedi parries each attack but feels the strength in Grievous as he stumbles back from the blow. When the cyborg comes in at him again, Anakin is ready and lifts a crate from the ground and throws it at him. Grievous falls to his hands and knees, but then leaps at Anakin, his cybernetic claws digging at his throat. As they grapple, his third hand tries to grab at his lightsaber, but Anakin slices it off. The cyborg responds by slamming Anakin against the ground with clones surrounding them.
You've lost, Skywalker.
The defeat at Kamino is a serious blow to the war effort. The CIS is forced to retreat with heavy losses, while the Republic can reinforce its group on the planet. More importantly, they lost one of their most important heroes, Anakin. The only upside is Dirge managed to escape with the Jango Fett DNA, which prevents the Kaminoans from producing new clones. Anakin sits in a small, dimly lit holding cell aboard the shuttle. His face is grim, staring out onto Coruscant until Grievous steps forward. You. What do you want, traitor?
Me? I've only wanted one thing, and that is the death of the Jedi. I thought Dooku would grant me this wish, but it was clear I was wrong. So perhaps it is time to follow different sources.
So you betrayed your allies.
Make no mistake, I have no love for Dooku, and I will betray him 1,000 times to get my wish. But first, a special guest wishes to speak with you.
Grievous steps aside, and in walks Chancellor Palpatine, his face calm with a subtle, sinister smile.
My dear boy, it pains me to see you like this.
Save it. What do you want, Chancellor? Or should I say, Darth Sidious?
I have been watching you, Anakin. Your power, your potential. It's unmatched. It would be a tragedy for you to waste away, bound to a cause that is doomed to fail. The CIS cannot win this war, Anakin. The Jedi, they will not survive. But you don't have to share their fate. You are stronger than any one of them. Don't let those talents go to waste.
Anakin's expression flickers with confusion, and Palpatine smiles, his tone turning darker. He can feel the dark energy radiating off of him. The power is unmistakable, and seems stronger than anything he's seen from the Jedi or Dooku.
It is true. I am Darth Sidious, the true architect of this war. Everything that has transpired, every battle, every decision, it was my design. All of this was to bring an end to this broken republic and create something better.
The rest of his speech is drowned out by that one singular statement. Palpatine started the war. He was responsible for everything that happened, including the attempt on Padmé's life. He stands, his fists clenched, and rage boiling to the surface. You're responsible for Padmé's assassination attempt. You tried to kill her.
It was an unfortunate necessity, one I took no pleasure in. But think, Anakin, the power I could offer you. Together we could end this war on our terms. You could save countless lives, including your own.
I'd rather die than join you. Do you think I'd ever serve the one who tried to take Padmé from me?
You are making a grave mistake, Skywalker. If you refuse my offer, I will see to it that you are executed as a traitor. The galaxy will not mourn the loss of one Jedi.
Do it. I'm not afraid of death. Meanwhile, the CIS is trying to make the most of their situation as Dooku tries to take advantage of possessing Jango Fett's DNA. He contacts Lama Su, who is surprised to see him.
Darth Tyrannus, to what do I owe this pleasure?
I possess something I believe you will be most interested in.
Dooku raises his hand, showing the Jango Fett DNA cylinder, turning it slowly so Lama Su can see the container. Lama Su's eyes narrow slightly. You have something that belongs to the Kaminoans' master.
Not for long. I could destroy this precious DNA, and with it, your ability to create more clones. But I am not here to threaten you, Prime Minister. I am here to negotiate.
And what would these terms be?
I want access to the command codes for the inhibitor chips in your clones. With those codes, I can control the Republic's army. In exchange, I will return the DNA unharmed, and I will ensure that your contracts with the Republic remain intact, uninterrupted, and profitable when the CIS wins the war.
You understand the gravity of what you are asking, Count Dooku. Such control over the clones could tip the war in your favor. But if our role is to be revealed...
Worry not. I will claim that my scientists cracked the code. In return, Camino will remain neutral, continuing its business as usual, profitable for both sides. Wouldn't you agree?
You will have the command codes, but in return, I expect the DNA to be undamaged.
Agreed.
Days later, Anakin stands on a massive hovering platform in Coruscant Square. Below him are countless citizens and soldiers who all stand ready to watch his execution. By his side is General Grievous, and above him on a balcony is Palpatine, who is smiling in anticipation. From some of the holoprojectors, Anakin can see his face as he waves his arms dramatically.
Today, justice will be served. The traitor, Anakin Skywalker, will meet his end. He is just one of many Jedi who have turned their backs on the Republic. Thanks to the heroism of General Grievous, it shall be done.
The cyborg raises his fists and ignites his lightsaber, spinning his hands in anticipation. The crowd murmurs, and clone troopers form a ring around the execution platform. The hum of the lightsaber grows louder, its sharp blade glowing ominously. Palpatine raises his hand to signal the general to strike, but a figure leaps down and ignites a red lightsaber at his throat.
This party has come to an end.
The citizens all gasp as the Chancellor holds his hands up. Suddenly, dozens of figures in the crowd begin removing their hoods and tossing them aside while igniting lightsabers. An entire Jedi strike team emerges and readies their weapons. The sight of so many Jedi spread panic in the crowds, leaving them all scrambling and trying to get away. This causes chaos and prevents the clones from getting a clear shot. In contrast, Palpatine laughs and doesn't seem concerned.
A bold show, but you are badly outnumbered. Still, I thank you all for coming here and saving me the trouble of tracking you down.
Rather than be intimidated, Dooku smiles, raises his comm, and activates an open channel.
All clones, activate Order 65.
Suddenly, the clones freeze and lower their blasters. They look at each other in confusion, which causes Palpatine to snarl.
Don't look at us, you fools! Kill him!
But the clones do not move. Instead, they tense and turn their blasters to face him and fire at the balcony. His lightsaber flashes as he deflects the attacks before leaping away to face Dooku, whose own weapon is out. As the battle rages below, two Jedi hurry up to the platform Anakin is on. The clone guards are tossed off by Grievous, who turns and faces them. Mace and Obi-Wan ready their lightsabers and advance on him. As he takes a step forward, Mace shoves him back with the Force, allowing Obi-Wan to slice off Anakin's shackles. Obi-Wan hands him a lightsaber from Grievous's belt, and the three surround the cyborg as he stands up. Mace and Obi-Wan advance towards him. Anakin prepares to join him, but Obi-Wan gestures to the balcony, and Anakin breaks off to help Dooku. Anakin takes a deep breath, summoning the Force, and vaults onto Palpatine's balcony, his stolen lightsaber already ignited. With a powerful leap, he stands in front of the Sith Lord. Palpatine snarls, his face twisted in anger. His red lightsaber spins to meet Anakin's stride, and they meet in a violent clash. The blows send shockwaves across the room. Dooku attacks from behind and sends sparks flying as the two move in opposite directions. Palpatine has to whirl and spin around to stop their attacks as they circle him. Below, the clones are battling against the Senate guards, turning the square into a battlefield. Grievous sees this and snarls, blocking another strike from Obi-Wan as he's shoved down onto the ground. Mace strikes low and aims at his legs, but the General's metallic feet grab Mace and slam him against the ground. But Obi-Wan continues to press him, preventing Grievous from finishing off Mace. This allows him to recover and strikes at his foot. The General hisses as it stabs into his leg and forces him to let go. Mace leaps back along with Obi-Wan, who both charge at once, their lightsabers slashing and striking at him.
I will tear you apart, Jedi.
Grievous lashes out, but Obi-Wan feints to the side, delivering a quick strike that severs one of Grievous's mechanical arms. With the opening, Mace ducks under the remaining arm and drives his lightsaber up. With the two of his forearms severed, Grievous stumbles back. Mace suddenly makes a crushing motion and caves in Grievous's chest. As he stumbles and begins coughing, Obi-Wan uses the Force to shove him off. Meanwhile, Dooku and Anakin continue their duel with Palpatine. Their strategy works well as they corner him, but as they press closer, he spins around, letting his lightsaber slash the air and momentarily putting them on the defensive. When he stops, he's facing Anakin and rushes at him. He moves at blinding speed, funneling the dark energy as he strikes him, and then unleashes a torrent of lightning. Anakin blocks with his saber, but falls on the ground from the lightning. Dooku moves in from the side, his red blade slicing at Palpatine, but the Chancellor is already moving away. He whirls and turns to Dooku with his weapon raised, the sound of the clash echoing through the square as the two masters engage in a duel. Their skills are unmatched, the crimson lightsabers flashing and the dark energies flowing through them. But as Palpatine advances towards him, Anakin suddenly comes from behind and bears down on Palpatine with a flurry of strikes. The Dark Lord snarls and tries to face him, but Anakin's power is overwhelming, and he blocks each strike, starting to knock Palpatine off balance. The two rush at him, and Dooku's red saber slashes across Palpatine's chest just as Anakin's blue blade pierces his heart. Palpatine gasps, his eyes wide as his lightsaber falls from his hands. With the remaining Coruscant Guard defeated, the CIS quickly took control of the city. The revelation of Order 65 is enough to convince the Senate of the corruption of Palpatine. They denounce all his policies and agree to peace terms with the CIS. Although they are granted concessions, Dooku orders the droid army to be dismantled according to the Jedi's demands. Meanwhile, the clones' inhibitor chips are removed, and they will allow them to remain as the Republic's fighting force. The Jedi, meanwhile, are allowed to return to the Republic with full amnesty, allowing them to return to their role as peacekeepers. Before we begin the outro, shout out to our first Sith Lord member, ironically named Sith Lord 906. We appreciate your support. And that's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.